Next on Worcester News Tonight, a former WPI student making it big time, named a champion on national television. Plus, ensuring every Worcester police canine is properly protected. Vesta Dog donates bags with emergency tools. We begin tonight with exciting news for Worcester Polytechnic Institute. Good evening, I'm Bottary. So you may have heard of the TV show BattleBots. If not, it's a show where competitors design and operate remote-controlled armed and armored machines which battle in an arena elimination tournament. Well, tonight, the 2018 world champion was announced, and he's a WPI graduate. Paul Ventimiglia and his team created this robot called Bite Force. It's 250 pounds, it has four-wheel drive and a vertical spinning weapon which gives an uppercut to its opponents. Ventimiglia decided to watch the episode back at his alma mater and says WPI has played an important role in this victory.
It's amazing whenever I come back to WPI because not only are they one of the big sponsors and supporters of our team, it's a real family-like experience here where everyone is really fun to hang out with, makes our whole team feel really good, and we could not build the robot without them.
Ventimiglia is a mechanical engineer and says he would like to someday own his own shop where he can play with new ideas. A Worcester park could be the first in central Massachusetts to become a public cross-country ski park. The Friends of Newton Hill received a $30,000 grant through the Department of Conservation and Recreation's Recreational Trails program. Secretary of the Friends of Newton Hill at Elm Park, Brittany Legacy, says the money will go towards buying equipment and getting the project off the ground. It will include beginner, intermediate, and advanced terrain.
So we're really excited to bring winter sports to Worcester's parks and in a really free, accessible way for everyone to enjoy.
Next year.
Legacy says volunteers will maintain and staff the ski track. They hope to open the trails by this winter. Today, in a procedural vote, the Senate voted 51-49 to advance Judge Brett Cavanaugh's nomination. The vote started the clock on 30 hours of debate. Both Massachusetts Senators Elizabeth Warren and Ed Markey voting no this morning. There are 51 votes needed for confirmation. Senator Markey voicing his disappointment.
I don't think that there has been a case that has been made that all of Cavanaugh's record has been viewed by the Senate. At least 90% of all of his White House records have not been seen by any of us. I don't think 90% of the witnesses that have been clearly identified as people who can help to corroborate or to question his veracity with regard to his conduct as a young man have been interviewed. But we still have another day to go, so I'm going to continue to fight.
Absolutely. Again, there are 51 votes needed for confirmation. However, Vice President Mike Pence could break a tie. A final vote is expected on Saturday afternoon. Some programs helping families make ends meet can cut the number of people in Massachusetts living in poverty by almost half and reduce the number of children living in poverty by more than a half. As our Chandler Walsh explains, a forum Friday in Worcester looked at strategies and solutions to help those struggling in central Massachusetts.
Almost a third of Worcester children live in poverty. The percentage climbs to more than half when including children living at or within double the federal poverty line. It's a key finding in a MassCap report presented at a Worcester Community Action Council forum Friday.
Conversations about what is poverty today, where have we been, what are the policies that have affected, and what can we continue to do about it going forward.
According to the statewide study, incomes are climbing for households at the top, but the same is not happening for low-wage workers. Jeff Turgeon serves on the Mass Hire Central Region Workforce Board. He says many entry-level jobs in the area don't pay enough to support families.
To get out of poverty, the best way to do that is to help people get back to work. We have to recognize, too, that work in and of itself doesn't necessarily lead to being out of poverty if the job doesn't pay enough.
The WCAC says policies like SNAP, fuel assistance, Head Start, and Social Security have helped cut the number of Massachusetts residents in poverty in half. But Executive Director Jill DeGillis says there's still room for improvement.
Have affordable wages, have affordable housing, accessible transportation, affordable childcare. Those are all the categories that policies can be revised for.
All those factors that play in, all those policy decisions have an impact on one another.
DeGillis says with Worcester's development, it's important people who live locally have workforce training and fill the new jobs.
The work that goes on in the city to build buildings and have a renaissance is always about the people who come and go in and out of those buildings and work for those organizations.
The WCAC says poverty in the area can be reduced by working with other organizations, the city, and public schools to align goals. Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
The woman accused of sex trafficking a minor from the group home where she worked made her first court appearance today. Back in May, the group home in Saugus was abruptly shut down. Alicia Palumbo reports.
27-year-old Ashley Goodrich of Lynn pled not guilty Friday to charges of sexually trafficking a minor who was in her care at an adolescent group home in Saugus.
Alleging deriving support from a minor prostitute. How do you plead guilty or not guilty? Not guilty.
Investigators allege Goodrich posted ads online offering sexual services in exchange for money, then drove the minor to the sexual encounters in Worcester and Boston multiple times in November and December of last year. They say Goodrich claimed the child had run away from the home when she was actually engaging in prostitution, and then Goodrich allegedly pocketed at least some of the money that was made. Goodrich allegedly recruited the child from Atlantic House here on Western Ave in Saugus, where she worked and where the child had been placed by the Department of Children and Families for her protection and care. In May, when these allegations first surfaced, Goodrich was fired from Atlantic House, which is run by Elliott Community Human Services. The Attorney General's office says the group home for boys and girls ages 13 to 18 has since been shut down. Goodrich didn't have anything to say as she left Worcester Superior Court Friday.
Were you trafficking these young women in your care?
No comment. We have nothing to say.
Goodrich was released on her own recognizance in order to stay away from the victim and all minors under the age of 18. She's due back in court here in Worcester on November 26th and scheduled to be arraigned on similar charges in Suffolk County. In Worcester, Alicia Palumbo, Worcester News Tonight.
State lawmakers are taking a closer look at how to keep spectators safe in large venue settings. Governor Charlie Baker is launching a new task force to study safety and security risks at places like stadiums, concert halls, and convention centers. Worcester Police Chief Steve Sargent was one of 16 members sworn in Thursday. The group will get started right away, renewing best practices in large venue security. The governor wants them to submit a strategic plan by April 30th, 2019. Police canines are sometimes put into dangerous situations, and without the proper gear, treating an injury can be difficult. Friday, Worcester EMS were donated bags with essential gear they need. Our Rosalind Flaherty has the story.
Treating a Worcester police canine in the field can be a difficult task, until now. This new first aid trauma kit will play a vital role in taking care of them.
The realities of police canine in that business, these animals do get hurt from time to time.
4 kits were donated to Worcester EMS by Massachusetts Vestadog. The kits can help with anything from a gunshot wound to a scrape or a fracture.
These bags get used more often than we even know about. We hear back from the handlers, oh, I had a cut foot, I used it.
Worcester EMS says before they would have to improvise using the material they had for humans. The kit includes bandages and combat gauze, which is the appropriate size for the canines.
Hopefully make our job a little bit more efficient and easier.
Deputy Chief Edward McGinn says the canines do things the officers can't and can be put in very dangerous situations. They can now provide their partners with the best care.
It's only just for us and humane for us to be able to properly treat them, God forbid they're injured in some way.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
Troubling new details emerging about a stabbing in Acton. Authorities saying the people attacked are the suspect's parents and another woman. 25-year-old Benjamin D. Christina was arraigned in Concord District Court Friday. Prosecutors say he used scissors to stab his mother, father, and girlfriend last night at a home on Haynes Court in Acton. They say his father is not expected to survive after being stabbed multiple times in the neck. D. Christina faces charges including armed assault with intent to murder. Worcester School Committee members and administrators are looking at new ways to tackle the heat students face in some of the classrooms at the beginning of this school year. Temperatures reached the 90s last month in Worcester as students headed back to school. At Thursday's school committee meeting, members said they're looking into developing a new policy for extreme hot weather. Some ideas, including allowing principals to decide whether or not their particular schools should open. Another was allowing students to be dismissed early if it becomes too hot.
It's a challenge because not all schools have been affected by the heat, mainly because of the fact older buildings, because of their brick buildings, lack of insulation, absorb more heat than many of the other buildings that we have in the Worcester Public Schools.
We have to come up with some conditions that will work for everyone, whether it be the staff, the students, and parents. And we have some buildings that stay cool on their own. We have other buildings that are generally warm no matter what you're doing.
The committee referred the item to the Standing Committee on Governance and Employee Issues for further study. Switching gears now, you may have seen them around the city. A smiley face poster, stickers, or treats. Places all over Worcester are celebrating World Smile Day. The city has a unique history with Smiley. Harvey Ball created the icon here in 1963 and later started World Smile Day. The Worcester Historical Museum honors Ball with a permanent exhibit and had activities for Kids Friday.
I think it's really important, now more than ever. People just need a reason to smile and good news, and this today is all about spreading kindness, and whether it's giving someone a World Smile Day sticker or buying them a coffee or just saying good morning, it makes a huge difference in someone's day. We should do it every day, but today especially.
Worcester Family Partnership and the Worcester Historical Museum partnered this year to recognize the 20th World Smile Day.